Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to remind you this episode is brought by our patrons, like Aga Comics, Qua, and Nestor Flores. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it would really help us out. Thanks for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
喜べ少年
That's right, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk Fate Grand Order, the eternal place of all Fate Grand Order that never stops, always running. Never mind those times we took breaks. I am one of your hosts, Shinjuku Omega, and with me as always is Gyaru Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you are enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka a little bit racist. And while we here at Studio Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO related news and memes, we will be talking about the current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should just go to Shinjuku.
I'm trying to remember because I know it's not actually the Shinjuku one. There is actually a what's the place? Fuck, it's been so long since I played Persona 5. What's the actual like fashion street in Japan?
It's it starts with an H.
Harajuku.
It's
that's
like
right.
Harajuku, yeah.
Curse me and my not.
Listen, Tokyo is crazy, all right?
And it's big.
It's big.
It's big and crazy. Listen, we all played Persona 5. We know what's up. Harajuku was a good place to take dates and buy room swag. Good old room swag.
I went to Akihabara.
Of course you did.
God fucking damn it. I always see it, but I can never...
Electric City.
Electric City. Akihabara. Yeah.
Akihabara, yeah.
I can Japanese. No, I can't.
Not a park. I don't remember what they called some of the other ones. I don't know if they were the same, but there's several amusement parks you can go to. There's the Space Needle
amusement
type
park's
thing.
in Maihama. That's where Disneyland Tokyo is. You mentioned at some point you're gonna take me to Disneyland. We're going to fucking Maihama because we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna go to Japan and we're gonna go to Disneyland. Boom.
Disney World. Thank you very much. But no, that's an entirely different discussion.
Yeah, entirely. We'll talk about that later.
We're here for Fate Grand Order. I guess I should go ahead and do the soundbite, but I'll tell you now, the Protip segment will be short at the front of the show for reasons, but I'll do the sound cue.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai, our regular segment for Pro Tips. Today's Pro Tip is a foreshadowing. We have Pro Tips about new mechanics, but we're going to talk about them when we get there. So stay tuned. So let's just go ahead and move into the thing.
Alright, Records from the Throne, our regular achievements topic. As I said, not getting a lot done this week. Honestly, I've been, super busy with just, all my gacha games. But I was able to protect Blackbeard's smile. And now that I've seen his full Ascension art, I am dying. It's just him in his fucking meme shirt holding, figurines of, Marie and... I can't remember which one, but another girl, while his pile of treasure has a bunch of fucking nerd loot in it along with gold coins. I'm like, this dude's amazing. As scummy and sleazy and perverted as he is, I just fucking love him. God, Blackbeard, you alright. Well, no, you're not, but you're alright to me.
Yeah, I expect we'll talk about maybe some of the reasons why we didn't get much done on What's Up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about our epic quest of vengeance. But alright, let's move into the news. I assume that I'm going to have to read the Shinjuku Pre-game, which in case you did not read the title of the video, the thumbnail, or the description, which will assuredly have all said that, we're going to talk about the Shinjuku Pre-game because, well, one, I was writing it anyway because that will be coming up soon, but also, they literally announced the pre-release campaign while I was writing these show notes, so it's happening sometime. So
I guess I'll take all this stuff then. So over here in North America, we have 600 Days, Booyah, 10 State Courts, Geto. We also have the FGO VR featuring MASH running from February 13th to February 27th. It has a commemorative CE quest, banners filled with MASH CEs, and personal training is now back in the Rare Prism shop. Booyah. Let's see here. We're going to go across the sea to JP because they are also now having the Valentines 2018 rerun banner and ranked up 10. We have Semiramis and CE's banner rerun running from February 13th to February 27th. Rip Voice The Winterfest campaign returns with longer rewards and stream. And we have the rank ups running from February 13th to February 19th. So far, we have Semiramis, whose MP improves to get more damage and add 100% buff removal resist to the team. We have Passion Lip, whose MP was boosted for increased damage and healing. Edison's Morph has been upgraded to Wizard of Menlo Park, a now targetable, with better debuff scaling and reduces skill cooldowns by 1. An additional to this, that we know but have not seen, is the 4-star Berserker, 4-star Lancer, 5-star Alter Ego, and 2-star Caster.
So with the caster specifically, it's Hans or it's Shakespeare. Those are literally the only choices. So we don't know
who. I don't know. I think probably Shakespeare needs a buff more.
Probably Shakespeare,
really.
Just because, like Hans has always been very solid. He actually has an NP interlude already. He has all his skills. He does his job. Well, they have improved Shakespeare in the past to give him 3 skills. They could do more with him to improve something that he does. Because there's a lot of support options are being upgraded. Like, obviously, Edison was upgraded, so now he has a more interesting niche. One of his skills will actually reduce skill cooldown. And his defense up, which for himself was very not impressive, it's now targetable, so now he's actually filling a more generalized support role, which is cool. Because beforehand, Edison was widely regarded as one of the weaker 4-star casters, just because the one good thing he had of his skill set was the ability to increase team's overcharge, which was like cool, but also very niche, right?
Yeah.
So he was, I think one of our community members put it best of like 80% of the time he's useless on his own as support, but that other 20% he's, makes or break a team. The Berserker and Lancer slots, I think, have people the most curious. I mean, like 5-star Alter Ego, there's quite a few of those, so who the flip knows, but that's very much a question mark. But I think for Berserker and Lancer, that's got a lot of people, getting their thoughts up and their hopes up.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be tonight also. I wonder if they'll talk about that on stream. Because that'll be... I believe they're announced... Sorry, I yawned. We're doing this a little late in the day, and I'm probably going to get hungry halfway through this episode, but whatever, I will soldier on for you. The microphone doesn't pick it up when my stomach growls. But I believe these things start when the server resets, which obviously, for us in NA, the JP server resets in, like, the super middle of the night. But, yeah. We'll see. The stream will also be interesting. I thought about asking for a delay, but I decided not, just because we have a lot of stuff to talk about anyway, so we might as well get it out there, and we'll talk about the rest of these. Because Japan's Valentines doesn't end for a few days anyway, so anything that's announced on the stream will have still only just started by the time we get to our next episode, so I figured it's not a big deal. And also,
right.
we might as well roll into it, because I just realized that I haven't actually... written down what the rewards for the Shinjuku pre-release are.
I know, I pulled them up on the Twitter, okay. Actually. Also, side note, I find this crazy. Fucking Raita follows the FGO US Twitter. You think he plays...
That's cool, I never noticed that.
You think he... Yeah. But, so yeah, we have the... the Shinjuku Phantom Incident pre-release campaign, Pseudo Singularity 1, Quarantine Territory of Malice, Shinjuku. As I said, we have our war campaigns with a bunch of stuff. Do you want me to list them all?
Yeah, might as well go down the line real quick.
Alright, so for each level of combined Facebook's likes and reactions and Facebook's reaction and shares, plus Twitter likes and retweets, over the original go, we receive additional goods. So at 30,000, it's just 30,000 combined, excuse me. It's just 3 state quartz. At 35,000, it's also 4,000 friend points and 1 million QP. At 37,000 combined, it's 3 Blazes of Wisdom. 40,000 combined, additional 3 Sand Quartz. 43,000 combined, 2 Radiant Foe Alls, and Shining Foes All. And at 45,000 combined, it's additional 4 Saint Quartz. So if we hit the 45 marks, we'll be getting 10 Saint Quartz, 4,000 brand points, 1 million QP, 3 Blazes of Wisdom, and 2 4-star foes of each type. Honestly, that's a pretty sweet package.
Yeah, the total 10 quartz is good, and they start you with the normal 3 quartz as the first thing, and then it levels up, which is really good, I think, the way they're spreading it out. And right now, looking at the likes and retweets, this has only been up for like a few hours, and it already is at like almost 10K for just on Twitter. So I assume we're past 10K overall. I don't know what Facebook fucking does. I don't look at Facebook.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I quit Facebook. There's too much drama on it.
I'm sure it's doing okay for people, so that's good. And also, by the way, the almost entirety of the Twitter replies are filled with various FGO like retweet meme images. But yeah, so that's the news. Let's see, how long have we been going? Only about 10
Very
minutes.
newsy. On point. Booyah.
That's okay. We've had long shows in the past couple ones. We can do a shorter one. That's fine. I'm stretching.
I don't know. I'm gonna get on my fucking soapbox here in a bit.
That's true. We will talk about that. That's not in the notes.
Well,
I guess before we jump into Shinjuku Pre-game, we are obviously still in the middle of Valentines. It continues. For the reasons we're not discussing yet, I'm only doing okay at it. Like, I got all the Altera CE. I got all female chocolates. I haven't worked through all the men's gifts yet, all the males' Valentines. But I'm working on it. It's not that hard. I just need to take the time to do it. And once you get all the Valentines out of the way, then it's really easy to clear the store because you turn all the coins back into baking chocolate and you're fine.
I guess I've been a little delayed on my farming because of other games and vengeance quests.
Yeah.
But I have cleared all the sabers and archers for both men and females. I'm working on lancers like right now. Tomo is getting punched because she fucking dragged me away to do who knows what with. Like, again, like, I love these, like, I know in like a couple years we're gonna get voice, but like, I'm happy with how they are like right now. Like all these little CEs, even if they're only like a couple paragraphs of dialogue, they fucking stab me in the heart.
Yeah,
right?
no, a lot of them are super meaningful. I wasn't expecting Robin Hood's to turn suddenly noir.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a dramatic flashback in the middle of it.
Like we were talking about like Lancelot, like he's like being swarmed with chocolates and all he can give him is a single flower, but you know, he's meaningful. It's like, it means hope and good things. Mm-hmm. I want you to have it. It's like, Tristan's like makes me laugh because like,
yeah, some of them are funny, some of them are
meaningful. Like, I don't think like some of them are just kind of like, okay. Like, I'm sorry, David, like, okay. I don't know. It's like, I've been happy to receive gifts from the guys, like,
no, it's really, and honestly, the way most of those scenes are set up, like, some of them have some connotations, but a lot of them are just, hey, here's your chocolate, thanks for doing I mean, some of that might be localization, but thanks for doing a good job, you know. Here's the token of my appreciation for the hard work you do.
Yep. And they're like, oh wait, let me give you back something. Some are definitely more implied. I'm looking at you, Uncle Fergus.
Yeah. But it's funny, you give EMIYA his, and he's like, oh wait, I had something prepared. It will be perfect. It's your fucking kitchen set.
Have you seen the kitchen set?
I mean, it's great. It's EMIYA themed. It's cool, but
I want that kitchen set.
At the same time, you're like, you're implying something here, Chief. And did I not just hand you a bunch of chocolates?
Best mom.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, no, it's like, this Valentine's event has been very healing.
Yeah, no, it's it's super relaxed and fun, and we're not trying the challenge quest because it's only a crystallized lore.
Yeah, it's like I said, like, all the battles, I'm mindlessly farming the,
oh yeah, no, once you actually use, I know I bitched about it a little bit on What's Up, but that's because I was just trying to clear the quest as, like, an initial level and work through everything. Mm-hmm. When you do actually use molds, it just gets a lot simpler.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when they would do the raid up last year, only better, because then now there is not any surprise. Oh, and by the way, the dragon in the second wave is completely the wrong class for no reason other than just RNG. Get fucked. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll die then. No, this is just, all right, build my optimal setup, just trash everybody. There's there's one mid boss in the second wave, and then there's the third wave is 2 chocolate servants, and then 1 real servant who has like 20k HP. I'll just work through that. And our chat is still having an argument about drinking from before the mic started rolling. Though I will admit that does actually come up a little bit in several of the actual CEs, because whether or not you can drink is a factor.
You get alcohol a lot, actually. Like, Sasuke Skahawk gives you something alcoholic.
Yeah, she gives you some chocolate wine, and for her, it's, as much as I like that scene, it's obviously very loaded, because it's like, oh, if you can't drink it, find somebody to drink it with. But BT dubs, I will drink it if you don't. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Like, Summer Tamamo gives you a drink, and then force feeds it to you. And you white out, literally. Like, all you see is a white screen and just Tamamo there. Like, let's see here.
She's a dangerous lady.
I guess technically Fergus gives you alcohol, too. Because it's like...
It's drinks and a room key.
Yeah. There was one more. Oh, yeah, Mev gives you honey mead. Chocolate mead, excuse me. Mead is honey, excuse me.
Suspicious.
Like, those are the ones I just know off the top of my fucking head. I'm pretty sure there's more.
And God knows what's actually in Summer Kiyo's chocolate. It's
a love elixir. That's close enough. I'm willing to put that on the list. It's something that requires an antidote. Damn it, Kiyohime, I had hope for you.
I mean, after last year, there was no hope.
Yeah, I know.
Which, by the way, that joke has returned before. People, I've seen the "don't eat Kiyohime" come up a lot. Because that's her quote-unquote chocolate is, it's just Kiyohime and ribbons. I mean, yeah, no. The chocolate scenes are super good. I mean, I will be happy to hear many of them voiced just for the sake of it. I will not be happy to have to collect them all.
Yeah, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I literally gonna just have to pull them all out and, like, use them? I don't want to use them.
I mean, no, you don't have to. I know some people in our community are complete monsters, and use up CEs from Valentines. And I am judging you. And... Oh, you hear
like,
my judgment.
I went out of my way to like buy like all the extra second archive space I could.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I must have bought some because I have like freaking 300 spaces, okay? And I only own... I don't know. I don't own... There's only 200-something servants in the game. And I don't have all of them, okay? Because we're not at 200 yet. We're at only like 100 and something, I think, if that. So... I have lots of space, so if you don't have space in Second Archive, you have too much of whatever it is you're keeping. Burn some of it. That stuff's useless. Whatever it is not as worth as much space as you're giving it. Clearly, well, I mean, if they're old, then yes, they're useless to you now. If they got to listen, this is one of those things. That's just like I'm having an argument, by the way, with somebody in our Discord chat about it, which is no, like to me, this is the Marie Kondo thing. Like, do some of those old CEs spark joy? No, get rid of them. If you're actually using them, then you should put them in your primary storage and use them, which is what I do with lots of older event CEs that actually matter. If you have like some jack-o'-lanterns or something, I'm like that doesn't spark joy. Got rid of those.
Like I keep like 2 Max Limit Breaks copies of Halloween Princess because it's fucking Halloween Princess. It's like. But usually, yeah, I'll keep like 1 copy of like any CE, but like and I'll keep multiple copies if the event is gonna get rerun. If the event isn't gonna get rerun, then I just keep that 1 copy for for joy.
Yeah,
because
and
I like having
technically you don't even have to because you can look at them again in like the CE archive. But that's also a whole thing because that's the looking through the CE like Spirit Origin list is kind of a pain in the ass because it's full of all those like heroic portraits which you can't get.
Yeah,
and like
all
the stuff.
Actually, I'm gonna this is gonna be a minute because I'm literally in the middle of fighting a Choco Corn. I'm gonna look how much actual space I have going on here.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to double check. Because I haven't moved any of the new stuff I've gotten when I still haven't hit my CE limit in normal. Also, yes, you should get rid of if you're not using them. Like I actually keep Maiden Halloween and Halloween Princess and all that because they're good. They have uses. But like I said, if you have like jack-o'-lanterns or whatever, no, the 3-star ones, yeah, no. If you don't like that CE and you don't use it, no, it's not worth it. The reruns will use new ones, or yeah, because that event's not going to be rerun anymore.
I really wonder how if I know this is kind of sad, but it just makes me wonder if they ever going to bring back Caster Liz or Brave.
Well, yeah, that's a question that everybody has, I think, because everybody's like, some welfares need rank ups, but it's like, what are they going to do that when you literally can't get that welfare anymore? So everybody's hoping for something to be done, and I hope at the upcoming anniversary because we're edging closer anyway. We're not really close, but we're we're closer than we're not, I guess, to year 4 of FGO.
Like maybe they'll start like a rotation.
Yeah, something.
Like
they
instead of,
need to do something to get some of those older welfares out into the circulation. Like, just start with year 1 stuff, like, you know, Nobu, Caster Liz, Rider Santa, and just kind of like figure out how to start, and whatever your economy is there. I think Rare Prisms would be fine, because you can now get Rare Prisms from welfare reruns. Now that they've rerun anything since Altera Santa, but that sounds like a good translation, which is like, okay, you already have the welfare from this one, you can turn that into an old welfare and just start rotating through them. Because, my god, they sure give you enough of these guys to use. It's not like you're unbalancing the game by letting people have access to Caster Liz or Santa Alter or Nobu or anything. I know they probably want to keep some for, like, you know, actual get reruns, but once we're past the rerun rate, no, like, do more. But yeah, so that's a fun thing that I think people are hoping for, is to be able to get access to those. Because, like, you know, there's lots of people who jump to JP later, and they don't have some of those tools.
Well, I think that's just any effect with anyone who doesn't start day fucking 1.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people who are not, like, I know, like, her use is Liber, but there's just some people who just do not have Saber Lily.
Yep, because the Saber Wars happened, and there was a rerun, and now it's done.
Mm-hmm.
We're now in NA. We're not past the rerun yet, but that will eventually be a thing. And then once there's that, they're like, there's no way to get her.
Suck.
Lots of seasonal events are past their time to be rerun. Lots of collabs are now past, because we've just passed the Prisma rerun.
I will note that they do occasionally bring up the CEs from these events.
Yeah, they do it because at least the banner ones they will put back up, and they'll put store ones in the Rare Prism shop, which is basically the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm like,
just put servants in there.
Oh yeah, give me a reason to use these. Well, actually, I've been playing day 1. I haven't missed the fucking welfare yet. Never mind.
No, you don't need it. It's just it's a system that people could use. What you personally need is a fucking safety net, Chief.
We know. Like, honestly, like, everyone has heard my absolute despair story. Honestly, if the safety net was in, I could have just literally bought MHX Alter. Literally. I would have burned some other, like, other servants and just been like, no,
and actually, hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the creator studio and look, because how many comments did we get out of that? We got like 33 comments. Most comments on that episode were people sharing their tales of absolute despair. Which is happy for you. And I don't know if people noticed, because I don't... Like, I sometimes see other YouTubers and stuff doing, like, little fun engagement tools, like, who's your biggest fan this week on social media? I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that, because that's going to be super depressing. Because I don't feel like our social media gets quite as much engagement as you think. Like, Discord gets a lot of fucking action. But do also remember we have a Twitter, and, like, sometimes I will post things on Twitter that I don't directly post on Discord, or I will quote them to that son of a gun.
Wait, what happened?
Voice just tweeted that he got Terminator Chan in Girls Frontline.
Oh, that means he's only beaten the
first thing,
level
yeah.
Up. Yeah, so Wait, he just started. What the fuck?
Yeah. I know. That's how I felt when he got AUG, but now I feel even worse. He actually
we're going to talk about that on WhatsApp. We have feelings.
We're going to yell at him. His voice isn't in. I know he's on, but he's not in channel. Maybe should we invite him in person to WhatsApp so we can yell at him directly?
No, let's not. I think it'd be a bit easier to trash talk him when you can't interrupt.
I don't know if he's good at strategy games. The concern is I don't know. He just did the Semiramis thing, so I bet he completely emptied his wallet. But otherwise, I'd be concerned that he's throwing money at this. But yeah, no. The joke also, I was going to make, the reason why I was looking at Twitter was because that was actually the joke I made for Valentine's Day. Was other channels are wishing you a happy Valentine's Day and peace and love and stuff. I'm like, no, we're going to wish you happy absolute despair day because we know the emptiness that is in your heart and we share your pain. That's Studio Omega in a nutshell, right there.
I don't know about you guys, but every time I get a new CE, I always take a moment to read the details because it's good.
Oh yeah, no, the writing, it's funny, but the frickin' writing on the CE descriptions is great. You learn so much. And some of them are just funny. Mm-hmm. Like,
oh god, that reminds me of...
Leonidas gives you the iron marshmallows, and it's just like, they're heavy, don't eat them. But yeah, you were saying something.
I just got. I'm reading Worlds End Wine. I'm just remembering how fucking soon Lancer Alter was, and then I don't do this chocolate thing, and then she just there's something stuck in my chest, and she just pulls out this giant chocolate. I'm like, Lancer Alter, I'm giving you the look. You know the look.
Well, she's embarrassed when she says it. I think she's trying to hide the fact that she made you chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to be coy about it.
Look.
That said, also, I talked all that shit about us not getting engagement. We did get like 18 likes on my absolute despair tweet, which is pretty good for us. So that's funny. People enjoyed it. That's good. That's like a 1% joke right there. But if that joke reaches 1% of people, that's fine. And no, we haven't tweeted anything since that because I wanted to space out some uploads on the backlog.
Everyone should be grateful that Kiyohime can't lie. I think we...
Yeah, that'd be dangerous.
Yeah. Because I'm reading Just Some Ordinary Chocolates, and Kiyohime says, I cannot tell a lie, nor would I want to. Thus, she should confess honestly that she is using an elixir of love. So Kiyohime just literally kept her mouth shut. No, Kiyohime never lies. Kiyohime has always been upfront and honest with all her interactions with you.
No, she hates lies.
She hates lies.
I think she would... She's got a very high level of madness enhancement. I think she would explode. It's like Spartacus. Spartacus has to fight tyranny and oppression. If he oppresses, he, self-destructs. Because remember, servants aren't people. They are concepts. So, they have certain rules that they have to stick to, which are their conceptual origins. Kiyohime hates lying, so she can't lie. Spartacus hates oppressing, he cannot oppress. It's like how Tristan is normally super weak to poison, because that's how he died. That's a conceptual weakness.
Also, Medusa Lancer killed me.
Yeah, I don't have Anna yet. Gorgon's fucking great though. That's super. Much like Jalter. That's super son. She's like, listen, I'm giving you these giant chocolate eggs to give to my dear sisters because they cannot possibly see my hideous face. Never mind. While you're I think Gorgon even physically picks you up so you're at eye level with her because she doesn't fit in the fucking corridors. Poor girl.
She actually used her mystic eyes on me because I kept babying her.
There's that too. But yeah, so it's give these to my sisters. They can't possibly see me. And then at the end, she's like, but you can take a bite if you want, but only if my sisters say, okay, later. Okay, thanks, bye. Tiny blushing Gorgon face. I'm like, yes, good.
Yeah, Medusa Lancer is actually kind of the same. She's looking for her sisters to give chocolate to.
Well, yeah, It's funny how the themes work out, because I think, if I'm remembering rightly, I have to double check. Medusa's is just it's a brand name, but it's a very good brand, so it's she put thought into it, but she didn't necessarily make it herself. But Setheno, Eurale, and Lancer Medusa all have the variations on the snake theme. Mm-hmm. And I think it was implied that they're copying Medusa in a way. And then Gorgon has the egg, so it kind of makes a weird thematic thing.
Everyone's talking about full roster Arturia. Let me get a full roster Medusa. I'll even count Setheno. I'll even count Setheno and Eurale because.
Well, they're all the same voice actress. I think the VA actually did something where before they were voiced, she actually did an on-stream read of all three of their scenes for something, which is adorable. I'll have to check that out. Somebody's done a redub like the Arash thing, but also literally she's voiced those scenes because that's the thing in Japan right now.
Okay, let's see here. Craft essences. I haven't put all the ones I got in currently, but my craft essence storage is 233 out of 300. I should actually put in my current. Wait, no. Mine's at 68 out of 200. That's what it was. 233 out of 300 is my regular thing. So let me fill it up a little bit here with chocolate,
which is probably
preserved forever.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and look at mine. Might as well get some numbers on it. But yeah, so Valentines in general is really, really great.
Yeah,
lots of great rating and effort went into it. Was there anything else going on that we wanted to talk about? No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah,
we were just talking about the general themes and feelings of the event.
Oh man, I have a single saber lily in my. I don't want to burn her. Wait, no. Yeah, I can. I've been burning fire. What is this? What is this softness? Get hard, Lucky. Get hard. That sounded wrong.
It did. Hey, nobody take that quote out of context.
Alright, well, back to farming then. But, let's see, anything else about Valentine? As I said, like, honestly, like, with the 600 days, I'm probably gonna get enough quartz to make one more 10 roll. You know, I'll, like, maybe, I don't know, because that's kind of how I got, that's how I got Tamamo and Atalante last year. It was literally, like, last-minute pulls. I was able to get them both.
Okay, so before second archive, I have, I'm at 205 out of 300. And in my second archive, which has all my, whatchamacallits from last year, all my chocolates, I'm at 31 out of 200. The only things in it are some, I've got, like, some...
cough.
I got some 7 Heroic Spirits CEs I don't actually use. I've got some Karano Kyokai CEs I don't actually use. And I've got, 500 Year Obsession. Yeah, that's it. Where I was like, I'm gonna put this in my second archive and never touch it again.
So it can get away from me. Just get away.
And so yeah, no, I use like 10 actual second archive slots for storing excess CEs that I'm not using.
Alright, time to buy guys chocolates. Let's go with Vlad Extra.
That's a fun one.
Carnival Carnivore. I'm not gonna lie, again, food porn. God damn it, anime. Why do you draw things so delicious? I'm salivating.
Oh, and if you haven't done Kid Gills yet, that one's also hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I did do that one.
He gives you water park tickets.
But apparently he owns that water park?
Yeah, it's a Hollowed Irexia thing. Reference. Alright, so I just added all the Valentine CEs, except I think Ishtar's because that's on my support setup right now. I'm still only using 68 spaces in my second archive, which is at 200, so I might not have bought any expansions. Or I might have, I don't know. Either way, no, it really doesn't seem like a big deal inventory-wise. Anyway, I'm going to put that down, because if we're done talking about Valentines, it's time to jump into the Shinjuku Pre-game. Let's Shinjuku, everybody. So we're going to start Epic of Remnant. This is our first EOR chapter, and it's going to introduce some new mechanisms and kind of set up the story for this segment. Obviously, we gave the spoiler warning at the front, but I will once again reiterate, if you are one of those people who wants to go completely in blind and just see what happens, period, tune out now. Lucky may or may not have done time codes. So, maybe you can skip to the end.
Sorry.
But, we'll see. So yeah. First up, speaking of spoilers, True Name System. So all Epic of Remnant servants will have their names and NPs hidden until revealed by the main story. That's neat. This solves the problem that we said we had, for instance, with Medusa Lancer, where it's like because you know it's her, it's super obvious. But if you didn't know her name already from using her as support or from the summon banners or whatever, that actually could be a mystery. Now they do that. Servants will have their true name hidden and their NP hidden. I don't know. I still have to do a wanted for a certain 5-star character, so I'll figure out how we're going to handle that as like a channel, but it's a thing going forward. Next up, and this was what I alluded to with our Protips earlier, we have the break gauge, or sometimes called by the community break bar system. So big enemies will have multiple HP bars. You'll see this as kind of like a diamond thing under their HP bar, and they'll be differently colored. Pretty typical HP bar stuff. So, some skills and other effects trigger when the bar is depleted, when it's broken. So that'll either be instantly when the bar breaks, or just when you get to a different colored bar. It's basically like a different boss phase, and they may use different skills or abilities. Like normal HP, if you exceed a certain segment of the gauge, the excess damage is not carried over, and instead you get overgauge effects, which are just like overkill, but for gauges, because they're not dead. This is what people are talking about when they say that the game kind of rebalances Merlin, in that, one single thing of spike damage doesn't work anymore. You have to actually figure out how to spread out your damage over multiple hits and units. Because if you just, for instance, if you had an MHX Alter and you decided to Buster quick, I don't think she has a Gorilla deck, but if you were if you did a chain with her on her big, or if you did a Lancelot triple Buster chain, you'd be wasting your extra damage probably because you'd get like 1 or 2 big crits and then they're done and then you're like, oh, that was wasted on an overgauge. So this system doesn't respond as well to like singular buster chains. You're going to want to spread your damage out and kind of like mitigate your effects. It's just like overkill. Only now they're not dead yet. So you can't even be like, well, at least they're dead. Nope. There's a new Ascension mat, cerebrospinal fluid. I'm guessing that's what they'll translate it to. I don't know. We don't know this yet, but it's cerebrospinal fluid in the translation, so it's there. That's fun. This will be dropped by new enemies that appear in Shinjuku, like hoodlums, hornets, and yakuza. Hornets, by the way, are not actual literal giant hornets. They are weird cyborg ninja guys with submachine guns. Shinjuku is aesthetically weird. And I don't really want to talk about it too deep. I want to let people hit them for the first time. But yeah, no, aesthetically, this is super interesting. Like, I'm not going to spoil certain mob names and stuff because I want the themes to hit people. Because it's super interesting. Anyway, Shinjuku has 18 story chapters, and as a note, this is something for Epic of Remnant. You will get a bond point bonus on certain servants. All servants of the evil alignment. That is, if you look at their alignment and it says evil. Not chaotic, but evil. Some people have actually asked this question in Discord. I'm like, no, it's very simple. Does their alignment say evil? If yes, then they count. If not, no. But they get a bond point bonus for all quests in the story. I don't know exactly how much it is, because it's not really listed, but they get a bonus, so feel free to have fun with your evil servants today.
Oh, I will.
In this story, you can expect to mostly use for support Archer of Shinjuku, Saber Alter, and John Alter, with a tiny bit of Edmund Dantes, but there are a couple others who will make cameos, which is, once again, pretty fun sounding. I'm holding back for Lucky just because I can't wait for him to explode into Discord and be like, oh my god. Because trust me, we'll be doing our usual, like, first impressions or look back as this story comes out. Because we like to do that. God knows, maybe Voice will stop playing Girls Frontline and he'll work on that collab video we did with him. Actually, was that after our show? I think it was, because that was that this weekend? Before? God, what is time?
I don't know.
I shouldn't be asking Lucky this question. He doesn't fucking remember either. We did do that, and I don't know if we did it at a point where we talked about it on air yet. It might have been 2 weeks ago, in which case we've talked about it on the show. I don't know.
Does anyone in our Patreon chat remember?
They are, at the moment, eerily silent.
They are.
They probably don't know what time is either. But yeah, so nobody seems to have figured it out. So we'll let it slide. We don't know. We may have mentioned that. We may have not. Anyway, we did a thing with The Voice, which was a big retrospective on the Part 1 story, where we recorded for like 4 hours. So yeah, who knows when he'll do that? I know that he was working with other people on other stuff, but also I know that he's been spending his time cramming Girls Frontline, even though he's told us that he wouldn't. He would never do it. He wasn't going to be pulled back in. That was on air. That was the first time we gave him shit about Girls Frontline.
I went back and found the comment where he said that.
Was it on this? Did we give him shit on the same episode where he gave us shit for time codes? It might have been. That would be super ironic. I don't know. I think there was actually a couple weeks difference in there. Well, that's another What's Up topic. Everybody, watch What's Up. I promise you it won't be 3 hours and 30 minutes this week because that's too big for us to upload to Patreon independently, so we can't do that anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, that was over 200 megabytes, so I had to do something else, and I'm like, let's not make them this long anymore. But where was I? Oh yeah, cameos. Mostly just holding back for Lucky to do big story reactions, which are cool. And look forward to our other story reactions and other things. So you will mostly be fighting caster, archer, and assassin mobs. There will be some chimeras and some Spriggan variants, who are not just sabers, but also some lancers. But they're still fundamentally Spriggans, I'm pretty sure. And there are also going to be some massive ghosts. I hope you like big ghosts because they're here to stay. And just as a warning, Epic of Remnant doesn't hold back. Expect some of these mini-bosses or even regular mob waves to have upward of 100k HP per enemy. Like, there's some of these where there's just, waves of 3 automata-type enemies who are like 108,000 HP each, and I'm like, that's a lot. These are less like story quest like level difficulty and more like high-level event quest difficulty. So not Not super hard, but at the same time, not a cakewalk either. There's a reason why Epic of Remnant is technically completely optional. But what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah. We got a year.
There are a few recurring bosses. One of them is Writer of Shinjuku, who eventually turns into Avenger of Shinjuku, and he almost always has annoying debuffs. They're different every time. But, like, one time he'll randomly grab somebody in your front row and do, like, 1,000 damage to them. Other times he'll, like, buff your attack down randomly. It's kind of a pain in the ass. There's an interesting encounter with Phantom and Christine. Both are classed as Berserkers. The Christine enemy starts as an Automata-type enemy, but turns into a big ghost when you break her first gauge. That's neat. Actually changing enemy archetypes. There's a boss fight with Yan King, where he drains all your starting NP when you fight him, and randomly buffs himself with a wide variety of buffs. That's gonna be fun, because he's an assassin. That we were talking about this actually when talking about Valentine's farming. The old adage, how do you beat assassins, came up. Use Ku Alter. Because goddamn casters. Actually, to go back to our Valentine's talk for just half a second, the way I farmed caster or assassin coins, and we'll have to again for some of my male assassins, is caster Liz double Merlin, which is like excessive overkill, but at the same time completely needed because holy shit.
I'll be okay because I have Sanzo.
Do you also have Ilya?
Yeah, I have Ilya. I've had Ilya.
That's right. I can't see. I'm like I can't remember. You got so much. You covered servants.
Yeah, I regret this.
But yeah, you're fine. You have the 2 units that are actually good for this. Everybody else is like, God, Medea, I really wish you hit in a higher ballpark. That or you really want art support because they just have so much HP. Fucking soul eaters, even when they're chocolate, they're a pain in the ass. So here's an interesting fight with EMIYA Alter where he has like 200 Hornets as backup, so you have to prioritize actually defeating his HP bar to win. You will almost literally never run out of mobs. I expect when the chapter drops, there will be posts on Reddit about, beat it, I beat all the Hornets. I'm like, yeah, no, I even though we got time for that. I'm just gonna beat up the boss and like deal with it. There's a fight that's titled Macbeth, but it's Rama in disguise with guts, so that's interesting. And so the concluding fights are a couple of double headers. You'll be facing a Moriarty boss who likes to inflict NP and skill seal and taunt on your servant and randomly strips your buffs, who is joined by an Avenger-class Demon Pillar, because ever since the Solomon finale, Demon Pillars have real classes now, and it fucking sucks, because he's an Avenger. And in that fight, his companion can remove his own debuffs and self-charge. And then the finale is with Moriarty plus a giant ghost with similar tricks, and then when you get to their last HP bar, though you have some unique support this time, which I'm not going to spoil, but it looks like it's going to be a fun conclusion. It's just, goddamn, no. They got a lot of weird gimmicks, and the break gauges don't necessarily help. The end result should be about 17 Saint Courts and 1 Grail, and there's about 10 more Saint Courts and free quests, and much like Gallstones, for a while anyway, you're going to have to farm free quests if you get some of the new servants and you need that cerebrospinal fluid. We will talk about the banner when it's announced, but the first one should be Archer of Shinjuku. Excuse me. Slight hiccup there. Let me actually double check what the first banner should be, just so everybody knows. But the Shinjuku release campaign. Yeah, so it should be the Archer of Shinjuku, the Avenger of Shinjuku, and Yan King. And there will actually be a new 3-star CE, but I don't know if anybody cares. That's not on Raid Up, that's just part of the banner. Or part of the release campaign. So, yeah. That's your summon setup for the first one. There will also be a Part 2 banner, which will be EMIYA Alter and Saber Alter, I believe. And that's it. So yeah, that's Shinjuku. It shouldn't be too long. It'll be a little harder than you're probably used to some of these story fights. But it will still be worth it, I think, to actually, work through.
I mean, it's courts.
Well, yeah. It's courts, you get some story stuff out of it. Like I said, the true names for some of the servants are going to be completely blocked until you actually complete the story related to them. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, it's it's got a thing. It'll be interesting to try out to see. We'll get to play with new mechanics. And, have fun. And new servants. And new courts. Whatever. Also, some people, this isn't a guarantee, but some people were predicting in that time period we should probably get some kind of quartz reward for the FGO USA tour. Oh, actually, that is a news thing we should talk about. The tour officially announced what merch would be available at the event. And, it's fucking brutal.
It's brutal.
Hey, so remember when I said, for the love of God, give us a What's Up shirt? It's there.
Yeah,
you can get Mary's shirt. There's no Buster Arts Quick shirts, but there are wristbands. They are also selling the Mini Coup plush from the Prisma event, and the Musashi Head plushies, which are super popular. They're also selling the soundtrack and the fucking CE art book, which slay me inside.
Yep.
And they also have some premium figures of Ishtar and Artoria. And they have a fair amount of stuff. Like, they've got several versions of that Rio art in, like, stickers, wall scrolls, etc. But it's all super brutal. And so we're, at certain points, we've discussed whether or not we want to use the Discord community to kind of, like, get together a pool. And, like, somebody will be the mule and go out and buy some stuff and then, send it back to everybody. We haven't clicked on that yet. I don't know if we know anybody for sure who's going to the LA event. But, yeah, I guess if you want to help us set that up and get in on that, join our Discord and we'll actually, facilitate that. But, because goddamn, I'm not gonna spend, forever on eBay buying some of this stuff. But yeah, it's, in terms of merch, it's great. They really should do, like, a limited run online to go with it, just because if you don't want people to... Because that's the thing, right? Like, obviously, for them, I say, like, we talked about this when we talked about the event, I don't know if the actual exclusive presence of merch necessarily draws people to the event. You can just as easily make the same amount of money selling it online in the same time frame. You're not going to get people who are going to, like, oh, I was going to buy a ticket just so I could buy this exclusive merch, but now I'm not gonna. Especially since I think tickets are already sold out for the event, so...
Yeah.
Before they announced what was in the store. So there's no, like, marketing reason, but if you guys are going to be like, please don't resell these online, then that's not how you fight quote-unquote piracy, right? Like, you beat the free market by being better and more convenient. You don't want people to resell your shit online. You sell your shit online for the normal market price in a more convenient fashion than, like, eBay or Craigslist or whatever, right? That's how you actually defeat that problem. Not by asking politely and not giving people a service. Just saying, guys. Like, seriously, hey, you want to know when I stopped pirating lots of stuff? When I had money and when things like Steam made it freaking easy to buy stuff and just hold on to it forever.
Yep.
That's way easier. Because it's actually, honestly, a lot easier to find something that you presume will work and actually function when it works and functions. If you make stuff not available or not function, that drives people to come up with solutions.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just farming right now while he rants.
No, I'm good. You rant about your thing now because my neck is
All
really
right.
stiff, but I can't, like, lean back and stretch it out while I'm talking into the microphone.
Alright, so I'm gonna just warn everybody right now here. So, in the general scope of things, I would say I'm a little bit racist. Personally, I don't find this a problem because I think everyone's a little bit racist. There's actually a fucking song about it. But with the arrival of the Shinjuku chapter, with the arrival of the Shinjuku chapter, there is a character that has gotten no small share of attention for his design. I'm specifically talking about EMIYA Alter. So it's already been shown that Aniplex is altering EMIYA Alter's art and sprites in order to give him to make him look not as black, which is honestly completely fucking fine because, as I was mentioning for this, super black EMIYA kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, we actually had a bit of a discussion, like, beforehand, which was like, so how does this actually, whether or not this is, like, a racist thing or just, like, a weird, uncomfortable thing. We could see this already because in the key art for Epic of Remnant, you can see him, and His skin is lighter in that art, and his lips were made less pronounced, which was a thing. And if you actually look it up, it's his original art is a little he is very very darkly skinned for EMIYA.
Yeah,
but, like compared to like Scheherazade and Queen of Sheba, no, that makes sense. Like Nitocris being a fairly dark, no, that makes sense because they're from North Africa, the Middle East somewhere. They're in a sunny place where people of dark skin originate. And it's a little well, yeah, I'll let you go ahead because you had a very good reasoning for why you were like, I don't know about this.
Okay, so, oh man, I wish we hadn't talked about it now because I'm trying to remember what I said.
We should have wrote it down, actually, honestly.
Huh?
I said we should have wrote it down, honestly, but then again, we didn't know we would necessarily be directly talking about this on air.
Yeah, but the thing about EMIYA Alter for me is like if it wasn't EMIYA, I would have been completely fine with this fucking character. But because I know he's EMIYA, our Unlimited Blade Works, our precious mom and harem protagonist EMIYA, like it completely throws me fucking off because for one, EMIYA isn't that dark. Like he just isn't. His facial structure isn't that black. Like let's be real, he has a very black facial structure with the lips and the buzz cut. It's all all that. If they had literally just made this character some sort of some black gang member from the 1950s, whatever, it's or something, I don't know, I'd be completely fine with it. It's yeah, whatever, okay, black gangs, that's a thing, it's happened. It's even the Detroit comment wouldn't have necessarily, because that's another thing that is making people give the eyebrow is in a later point. Tomo Cat calls him Detroit EMIYA.
Yeah, well, she says Demia, but it's short for Detroit EMIYA.
Yeah, Demia.
Which is something that I think Albert explicitly commented in an interview or in a panel, was yeah, so there's some stuff where we're probably going to change it because the U.S. audience isn't going to find that funny, which is kind of what I came at from it. Well, there's a whole deeper discussion here about where we tried to unpack this character design.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately, because
the short version of it is basically to me at least personally, I just and one, I don't see it as censorship because it's not government mandated. This is just internal decision making where we're gonna do this probably because we know that this is America and this will not market well because America will not necessarily at large find it as an overall demographic will not find it funny even in an ironic way.
No. Man, I really wish we hadn't discussed everything before, Mike's, because...
I tried to get it set up quicker, but then we ran into, I didn't even do my intro yet and stuff, so we...
Yeah, I have
we had a Steam going, then we bogged it back down, and before we actually got the mics turned on.
Yeah. Once I say something, it's I'm usually one and done. I don't remember what I say. It is literally a stream of consciousness. You just do not back up a stream.
No, yeah.
But, so first off, I'm gonna say, I'm a black man. I own a gun, I've lived in seedy neighborhoods with seedy people. I've seen a lot of gang shit in my life. And so, seeing this kind of character, seeing, these types of people, living around those kind of stereotypes, when I see, other portrayals of them, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't, because, I've known people like this. It's yes, no, this is not a representation of the entire fucking race, but there are individuals that this can apply to. That's how fucking stereotypes work. Remember, oh god, I'm really trying to gather my thoughts on this. So, when I see EMIYA Alter, I don't think it's necessarily racist or a shot against black people or their culture as a whole. I think it's just Japanese artists don't understand American culture quite as well as they think they do, and maybe kind of bled over into this. It's not something I've done out of malice, but out of ignorance. Hanlo's razor.
Right. Like I said in our chat, I'm not for JP. I'm not upset that they. Well, I don't know. Upset's definitely not the right word for my description. So I will say I'm not upset with the direction of the art character and what they've done before. Whatever. I mean, I'm not black. I'm white. I'm super Anglo. So it's no skin off my nose that they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
how they did it kind of does make me feel uncomfortable, and I'm totally okay with them not making the same, I think, design mistakes and bringing it over to the US version, because they actually know better over here and understand that that's, a bit of a politically charged direction to go in that's has nothing to do with the game. There's nothing for it to be quite like that. And we actually had this discussion beforehand because we talked about how one of the artist comments was like, part of the design came out as kind of like a, we're designing this, this hardcore, serious, broken down EMIYA. Like an EMIYA, what if he went to prison? And like, that, when you say that with the other stuff, that kind of, like we said, it makes a little bit of an uncomfortable reaction. But at the same time, it's like, we also don't know what the artist meant by that, because in his design, he's got buzz cut hair, which lucky you actually looked this up, and apparently they actually do that to you in Japanese prison.
Mm-hmm.
They buzz cut your hair. He's got like these, they're giant, but they're like handcuffed style manacles around his wrists, right? So it's like, is that what he meant? And then just the fact that he does kind of have like a weird blackface going on thing, like, was that not part of that, the go to prison element? Did you come up with the Detroit EMIYA reference later? Because that's in a later event. Did you come up with that afterward because you think it's funny that that's kind of how his design turned out? Like, what, we don't know the whole logic of how what into the writing and art design of this character, but because we're not in that space, in the vacuum that is America, I'm totally like, yeah, that's good that they changed it. That was not going to fly here. That was going to cause an unfortunate ruckus, which FGO does not need.
Like I said, I don't know the artist's intentions. I can only go with like how like I reacted, because a lot of people say it's not what was intended, but how it's received, which I think is a little bullshit, because people will get being offended is usually on like being offended is often a case of the person being offended for whatever reason. And on some cases, like, yeah, it's completely justified. And on some I'd say it's kind of a hand wave, because, like I said, we're in a time nowadays when basically someone can take offense of just about anything. And if you're familiar with American internet culture, people do.
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
so it's like, I would like to give the benefit of the doubt to the artist that they were not trying to make an intentionally racist character, and they thought they just tried to take a bunch of cool like concept and throw them together, and that the end result was just something that wasn't quite as kosher as it should have been.
Yeah, the result was something that had, as TV tropes like to put it, unfortunate implications. It's not something you necessarily intended in the text or even in the subtext, but when you bring it all together and you pitch that softball over the plate, somebody's going to take a swing, and they're going to hit that ball, because it's not hard to draw those conclusions looking at it.
No.
And like I said, if this was a design that was made in America, you would think that somebody was probably doing something deliberate here, because they should know better that will be received a certain way. In Japan, they probably don't know better, because this was part of a discussion that there's not a lot of black people in Japan. That's why black characters in anime look kind of weird, because they don't have a whole wealth of models to base this on. So, and that's not something that's against Japan. That's just how it is there. They have a very ethnically and culturally homogenous society, right? Like they're something like 90% all ethnically Japanese people, which are all, immigrants from the Chinese mainland, hundreds of years ago or whatever. Their culture has been on that island for a long time and is how it is, and I don't think they get a super lot of immigration. So yeah, whatever. The designers, the artists, the people who write it, they're all still human, so they can only work with their human experience. And as much as we like to think that there's some kind of like, a lot of the times we like to assume that some stuff is universal. I'll parse it that way, but it's not. Like there is a racially charged history in America. There's a racist history even in America, and certain race relations, ethnic relations, whatever you want to think about it. That's a big, heavy, deep thing in America. Mm-hmm. Other places, not so much. And also, there are histories in America. There's been different kinds of, like, bigotry or discrimination, which are often forgot about. When was the last time, you thought about the fact that signs, American signs in history used to say, no blacks, no Irish? Like, nobody talks about that anymore, because that, at least, we've kind of moved on from to different things. So, yeah, you just gotta remember that some stuff is not as universal as you think it is, but now we're in that universe, and like I said, I'm not gonna throw any flags that this is the problem with the internet. I really don't know if this Reddit poster was being jokey or serious,
By the way,
but they said that EMIYA was tan washed. So
honestly,
honestly,
like the new tan skin, I just think, like, from an art perspective and an EMIYA perspective, just looks so much better. It actually feels like EMIYA again.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can tell what character that is right away, or at least you have a vague, because he's got the white hair, he's tanned. They've kind of downplayed the lips thing, which is good, because that's not how regular EMIYA looks at all. Like, obviously they're different artists. We should say that. The original EMIYA art in FGO was drawn by Takeuchi. I forget his name immediately, but the artist who did EMIYA Alter also did Fuma Kataro, and you can kind of tell that there's some design similarities. It's the ribs. But at the same time, it's also like like you said, his facial structure is completely different. Like, It's not even trying to look the same.
By the way, I looked it up, of the demographics of Japan. Not, like, foreign citizens only make up 1.6% of Japan's population.
Yeah.
So, let's see, and majority of that is, China, Korea, Philippines, Vietnam, Peru, Brazil, surprisingly.
There's some kind of weird relationship going on with the Brazilians and the Japanese that I don't understand, but whatever.
Yeah, but, like, United States, people who, like, immigrated from the United States, only make up 0.04% of the population.
You hear that, weebs?
This is from data from 2012, though, so it could be higher.
It's probably an old, but still, it's a very small slice of a very small slice.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
So, like, I'm not gonna like,
No, we'll say this: we're not. Neither of us, you especially, are not deeply offended by this. We're not gonna, cancel culture. We're gonna uninstall FGO and we're gonna throw rocks at that artist. Which is what
just
some people's reaction would be. At the same time, if you think about it from what is the purpose of a character design, right? It's to communicate elements about the character. It's to do stuff. It's actually super deep. By the way, we're talking kind of funny with lots of ums and pauses because this is totally unscripted, completely off the cuff for both of us. But there's a multitude of reasons why you do character designs for certain things. So, in terms of a character design result, if I was the guy writing this scenario or this game, or I was directing that art direction, I would be like, I don't think this character design communicates what I want this character design to communicate.
Yeah.
Whether that's from, it's an EMIYA thing or not, or whatever, it's just,
It's like I think we mentioned this, like, they're trying to throw, like, a bunch of things into this one character, and
he's kind of, because, like, there's some stuff that only comes out in, like, his later ascensions, like I talked about, which I talked about with you, but I don't know if I'll necessarily give it away for the audience, but you can look up his art, and, like, there's actually cool elements to his design that they utilize later. It's just, like we said, he's very busy. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Like, calm down.
Not all of it works.
Yeah, but, like, as I said, just, like, don't get in arms over it. Don't get in arms over it. Just, we fixed it here for the US. It's fine. Everything's fine. This ain't gonna cause, like, this ain't a big deal, I should say.
Yeah. Well, and as usual, that's pretty usual for us, I was thinking. So I think our conclusion both here is we're both fairly middle of the road. Like, was the original design gonna, horribly offend us and make us drop the game like it would some people? No. But at the same time, we're not mad that they changed it, and we wouldn't have been mad if they hadn't changed it. It just, kind of was what it was, and now it is what it is, and that's just how it be, and we often talk about FGO as a business. As a business decision, this is smart, and it will be better than the alternative, because it would, like, the amount of people who are going to be like, I've seen a couple of people who are like, I don't like the direction because I feel like it's leading up to something. At the same time, like Albert has said, like, the female character designs, they're not going to censor. They're not going to. They're not China. They're not going to go in that direction, and they haven't. And honestly, like, fundamentally, this isn't like any heavy altering. This is just you go into Paint and you know, or Photoshop and you dial the tint up slightly. It's not like a heavy. It's a slight shader edit.
Someone's got some bad Photoshop skills going on there.
Yeah. I mean, some people like to say that some of the Chinese Photoshops look really good. I don't, because I think the connections stand out to me really, really bad.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you right now, Lucky does not like censorship. When I found out I could patch Girls Frontline to get the original art, I was like, done. No,
we did it. We talked about it on show. Yeah, because that's annoying. That's because the reason why that censorship exists in the first place is because of the horrible Chinese police state, but that's a way discussion for another time. But the Japanese version was uncensored, and it's not. We say uncensored. It's not really. There's slightly less cleavage and legs, and sometimes there's less implied nudity, but nothing's explicit either. So, calm down. Like, it's just, you know, a little bit of skin in their design is uncovered. So, like, I was disappointed when I heard that Girls Frontline, especially compared to Azure Lane. Azure Lane's like, fuck no, we're not gonna give you a censored version. Are we crazy? Other than that, technically our version is censored because it's the Japanese version, so they, hey, talking about cultural sensitivity, for cultural sensitivity in Japan, they removed the nuke symbol on on Indianapolis's bomb because, hey, wow, that would have been really unfortunate to pitch out there to the Japanese audience. And we literally just have the Japanese version of the assets, so we get cleavage, but we don't get nuke symbols. I think we win. Honestly, in America, we're not necessarily real tore up about the drop of the bombs.
Yeah.
And,
you know, you gotta look at the things from all angles.
Yeah.
Like, something that might tear you up might not necessarily not tear someone else up.
And that's not, I'll say that's not wrong. Like, it's perfectly okay for people from other cultures and backgrounds to not be emotionally invested in the same things you are. We've talked about this before a lot on WhatsApp, which is where we usually get philosophical, but, like, everybody has their own path in life. Everybody has their own version of the struggle, and you should have that basic human empathy to understand that people have that struggle. But at the same time, so we can all share that concept. We understand what it is to struggle as humans. We have to, you know, breathe and have shelter and stuff. Everybody's got some of that commonality, but at the same time, don't get weird that other people don't share the exact same struggle as you, because that's just not how we are. Nope. Like, what is the quote-unquote struggle for some people in different countries, continents, time periods is different from what you're doing in your day-to-day. There are people in your city or your town right now, as you sit here listening to this or watching it on YouTube, who, even though they're geographically close to you, have completely different struggles to go on their lives just because that's how we are. Ow. I bonked my knee.
Don't bonk the knee.
It's too late, I already did it.
So just take away from this is, like, remember, everyone has, like, individual experiences and takes away, like, from the same thing in different ways. That is what qualia is. Like, if you guys don't know what qualia is, go look it up. It's a very interesting thing. It's basically everyone's individual perspective and how no person will look at the same object and experience the same thing. It'll always be just a little bit different.
Right. And I mean, honestly, that's the thing, though. Even we, as right now, as humans, there's no actual way to compare your experiences with somebody else.
No.
You literally cannot. You can describe what it's like, but that's another subjective thing that they have to interpret. So yeah, that was super deep there. But we warned them about it.
Yeah. Like I said, like, I'm not trying to be all, like, oh, racism is fine. It's just not as big a deal as people often purport it to be. Calm down. Look at the big picture.
Well, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think either version of the design is hurting anybody. But
yeah,
obviously, you know,
it's still uncomfortable.
There's a whole complexity, which is why it is the way it is in different markets. Like, to the Japanese people, it probably doesn't make them uncomfortable because they don't get it. It probably flies right over their heads. Or they get it like it's a joke. It's like Detroit. I've heard about that on the news, that in America, Detroit is a city that's really scary.
It is.
Which is true.
Like,
so it's Detroit. Like, whatever. they have a different context. So yeah, like, and if you are upset about the change, that's one of those things where like you need to look into your own life and be like, why does that upset me that they changed this? Because is it like what's the worry to you, right? Because in FGO already some designs that some people might consider questionable and which are questionable to say other markets like China have already come and gone and been okay here. So like what are you if you're thinking that, what are you actually afraid of? Because this is the first of this type of change they've done, and like we said, it's not, in a technical term, it's not a huge change.
It's a shading.
Listen, we altered the lighting a little bit, and we made some things less pronounced. Man, I'm really parched. We've been going for over an hour. Let's go ahead and wind this down.
Alright.
So yeah, I'll say that our Teach Me Omega Sensei poll for this month concluded. I'm not ready to do that, obviously, because one, I knew we were going to do a big pregame and stuff, but also, it literally just finished today, so, there was always the question of whether or not it would be done, so I didn't have time to pre-write my notes. But the victor, by one vote, was What Are the Beasts? It was 3 to 2 to 1. So that'll probably be next episode, along with Shinjuku First Impressions and whatever the fuck new stuff they're going to announce tonight at JP. That's okay, we can talk about that then, because it's not like we didn't have a full show already today. I don't know if there's anything else we'll probably be talking about next week besides those, I guess, 3 key things. We'll have new content in the US, new content in JP. We'll have a lovely discussion topic to discuss about. And of course, I'm sure, given that we did, give something that's probably a bit of a charged commentary, we will probably get some feedback on that, and we'll see what that characterization is.
Yeah,
because I'll be honest, like some people sometimes have taken what we say as a fairly measured and metered response to stuff, and they seem way more fired up about the fact that we're not fired up about things. So hey, we'll see.
I'll try to I don't know if we get a lot of responses on this whole EMIYA Alter thing. I'll try to organize my thoughts a bit better beforehand instead of trying to do things on the fly. Because I'm totally okay with having to visit this topic again if I need to re-explain myself in a much more intellectual level.
Yeah, like I said, this was completely off the cuff. We didn't even realize we were going to talk about it until it came up pre-recording. Yeah. Before the pre-show even, it was in Discord, and then it was just kind of, it drifted into as we kept the discussion going when we got on the mics and got set up.
Yeah.
And that is totally an encouragement that you should become a 5 and up patron. No, actually, it's gold. That's right. It's gold patron or higher to listen into our episodes live, so you can actually catch the pre-show. 5 and up is our early release of videos and our polls. You could have voted in that lovely poll for Teach Me Omega Sensei, which not all of our patrons did. Like I said, there were only 6 votes, and I think we got 10 or 12 people who can vote. So yeah, I'm completely out of steam. I think that's the show. Is that the show, Lucky?
That's the show.
Okay, hey, everybody, if you like this video, go ahead and leave that like. If you have any comments about anything, leave those in the comment section down below, or join our Discord. That link is in the description. We mentioned it several times this episode. Very spicy conversations of all kinds happen there.
Spicy.
About all kinds of topics. Super interesting place to be. And generally very well run, if I do say so myself. And of course, if you are new here and have not already, please subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep track of our new videos. Also consider hitting that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video, because, sometimes our posting gets chaotic. This video is going to be, probably an hour 10-ish, hour 15-ish when we finish editing, so that can sometimes take a while to render, which, delays the whole uploading, posting, scheduling process, whatever. That was like the last episode of What's Up, in addition to being too big to handle in many ways, took 12 hours to render and upload, which is why it was slightly delayed. So notifications do help with that. And of course, like it says at the front of the video, and like we mentioned several times, consider supporting us on Patreon. It's very helpful to us, keeps us going, gives you early access to episodes like the audio version for just $1 a month. Helps us hit certain goals we're still trying to get that bartending with Lucky up and running.
Yeah.
And of course, also, I think, because we're at exactly 40 patrons right now, I think. Sometimes Patreon counting is weird. But we're at 40-ish, and I think if we get to about 45-ish, and I feel like patrons will actually respond to it, we can probably start doing monthly Q&As for patrons. That will still be like in a video format that's released to the public. Just we'll only take questions from patrons, but we have quite a few. So, hey, patrons, if you're out there and you're interested in asking us questions about whatever in like almost like an Ask Me Anything format, let me know like in the Patreon comments because you can do that and comment on our like audio release or whatever of this. So that's that. That's Let's Talk FGO. My neck still hurts.
You gotta do something about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stretch it out. I'm also gonna go eat.
You should also go find a save point.
They're not even gonna get that, and I'm not gonna explain it either. We're just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave you with that mystery.